and crossed a railroad.
What do you have for supper?
Crossed a railroad.
Today, ham sandwich.
For supper.
For supper, ham sandwich.
Do you want a ham sandwich for supper, or the other's
plate.
just a fruit plate?
Oh, for tonight.
For supper.
Or I just take a fruit plate.
Okay. Thank you.
Will you be here for supper?
No, we're going to go.
You're gonna.
Thank you very much, though, for lunch. That's
Oh,
really nice.
heavens. I began cooking early this morning, you see, and I worked all morning.
She does a good job of it. In fact, this is good to the last bite.
You know, really, they serve good food
They
here.
sure do.
They have good food. But I pay over $1,000 a month now. That's quite a bit, isn't
It
it?
is quite a bit. But you know, in Santa Barbara, rents are very high.
That's
Very good.
something that you don't have the tape on.
I do. But I can turn it off, or we can.
Because this is nothing pertaining to anything. I think we'd better get her
Okay.
conversation.
So let's see here. I was asking you about your dad and your mom.
My dad,
He was. Let's see.
they couldn't have been a better man than my dad. He, after Mother died, he took care of us he was so particular, fussy, but loving.
Like the hospital, when you went into nursing, the cottage.
Oh, he didn't want me to do that, you see, and I had to stop immediately.
Well, you must have been pretty young then.
I was young. I thought I wanted to be a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine in high school went in to be a nurse. And I'd go visit her, and she said it was so lovely. And I thought I wanted to be one. And I started out, and Papa had a fit. He didn't like it at all. He thought that was... I don't know why, but he just didn't like it.
You told me one time he came up and he said he didn't like the idea of you bathing men patients.
Well, I didn't
I
have...
thought that was funny.
Yeah, maybe that had something to do, but I didn't do a lot of that. I mean, I was there long enough. I didn't graduate or anything.
But it was Cottage Hospital. I remember
Yes, it
you have
was.
that picture, I think, or somebody does. Of
Yeah,
you with a
yeah,
nurse's uniform on.
yeah.
It was just Cottage.
And then I met Neil about that time, and we... Oh, he was at Marchfield. You see.
Well, what did your dad do for a living?
Well, years ago, when he first got married, he had a shoe store. Rodenbeck's bought him out. You know Rodenbeck's down here?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Rodenbeck bought my father out. But then he owned, what did he do after that? Went into some,
That commercial channel.
Channel Commercial, that's what that was a big company, and he was manager, and he owned a lot of stock in it. That I got a lot of that stock, remember?
So he changed careers from shoes when Mr. Rodenbeck bought it? Then
Yes,
went
he
into the-
sold out to Mr. Rodenbeck. He was just a young man when he had started in shoes, bought the shoes. Santa Barbara was really young, and he sold it to Mr. Rodenbeck.
Mm-hmm.
And Rodenbeck still...
I think it
Well,
still
they're-
exists.
They're
It
not
still
the-
exists, but different owners. Honey, I was wondering, what about Lamb Auto Electric, where the county building is now?
Well, he owned that block. He bought that block of land.
Oh.
And Charlie Richardson started that Lamb Auto Electric, but he called it Lamb because Papa owned the property. And I think Papa
Your Papa probably built the building. in
yes,
other words.
that's what he did do.
I see, so it was Lamb.
And that's why it was Lamb Auto Electric. But then Father volunteered during the war. The war came up, and he volunteered, and I can't remember whether it was Red Cross or
It was. Told me.
or what was the other?
I think you said
was-
Red Cross.
It was the American Red Cross.
I thought it
Because
was,
he was
but
in Paris and you
Yeah.
got things from him.
Yeah. He went over as a volunteer.
This was in World War One.
Yeah. And he wanted to go over and be a volunteer, and he did. I
So
thought
did he die over there?
No. Did he?
He was
came-
injured though, remember?
He was injured. He was in an automobile accident coming across a little railroad, a tiny out in the country where you wouldn't expect anything. And he was in a little car, and his car stopped or something on the railroad, old fashioned, had to go up and down, and it got stuck up there, and this engine came along and hit his car
Oh, my.
and knocked him out, and he landed on his head. And so when he died, he had a tumor that grew out like this. Nowadays they would have taken that out, wouldn't they?
I imagine so.
You remember how Papa?
I remember you telling me.
Yes, his head, I can see him yet. It just grew out on one side here, and I can just see him in bed. He didn't know any of us or anything, so it was a blessing when he was taken. But he was a wonderful father because our mother had died when we were young, and he was the best father that any man could have. We had everything.
Now,
Huh?
he must have inherited a lot of money from his parents then.
Well, he did, I guess.
Was he an aristocratic type like his mom?
Yes, he was. Well, not quite like her. He was more loving. Everybody loved him, and my grandmother was.
Charles gave a kiss, not quite.
She gave you a drooly kiss, Nana.
Better rod.
She had to entertain everyone out there in the whole
Oh, is that
hallway.
what she was doing? Very nice.
She definitely does not.
You can't have her.
Oh, she's fine.
Sorry, she's taken.
Say hi.
Oh, she's
Maybe
nice.
she had a long nap. Huh?
Oops, we're into the garbage.
Oh, it was. So I got so
This does-
interested in talking to you. Take your little doohickeys
Oh, yes,
Oh.
we have our little hearts with the candies in them, no less.
and think you want to take that, don't you?
Well, we should look for a little.
Thank you.
Betty takes the meat
Good.
that and
I
then
make a sandwich.
and then she takes Sandra to work tomorrow.
That's a good idea.
Why
We
send
don't
it
want
back
you
to
wasting
the?
away, though, Nana.
Huh?
Yeah,
We don't want you to waste away.
Whoa.
No.
Boom. Boom, boom.
You could tell she doesn't hurt easily.
What a good girl. I'm looking for napkins.
What is this?
Honey,
Oh, it's cute.
Yes, I'm going to find a napkin.
It's like
Yes.
a demon or something.
Somewhere. How about paper towel?
There isn't any that I could find. And I used yours.
Well, that's your for you tape thing. I was wondering what's that?
you want a napkin?
We can ask for it. I can go get one off the table.
Susanna, go get one.
She's showing you where the napkins are.
Oh,
No, I don't know that those are
they
there.
could be for all we know.
I
What a
don't-
good girl.
I tell you, honey, I'll go out and get you some.
She's calling her.
Well, Suzanne went to get some already.
Huh?
Suzanne went to get some
Oh,
already.
did she? Okay.
Betty said that your dad was a founder of the Masonic
Oh,
Temple.
not the founder, but he belonged to the Masonic Lodge.
Oh,
He was a Mason.
She's just fearless.
But,
and your mom was in the Eastern Star?
No, my mother was died before. You see, she died when we were young. We were about 12, I guess. But so father wasn't a Mason then. he had his shoe business when he had a family, but it was later life.
I thought he was one of the originals.
What?
Of the founding of the Masonic Lodge.
Oh, the Masonic
Or was
Lodge
it your
has been-
grandfather then?
Honey, that's been founded for so many years that none of my family founded it. That's an old,
You told me
the
something.
Masonic Lodge is an old
Well,
organization.
what was it? Eastern Star or
No, none of those. Those are all old, honey.
yeah, but I mean,
Maybe in Santa Barbara. He may have been one of the first members in Santa Barbara.
yeah. Well, I meant in Santa Barbara.
Oh, well,
I didn't mean nationally. Oh no. But here in town, I remember you told me he was a founding member
don't
of the
know.
Masonic here in town.
Mary Sheridan.
This is Maisie's little great granddaughter.
I was almost done getting your voice here.
Oh, my voice isn't much, David.
Of course. I was just about done asking you about your dad. I can't think of anything else to ask about him. You told me that about his business and that he was real good
A
father.
wonderful father. After Mother died and he had full charge of it, he was a wonderful husband. He and my mother were very, very happy. And
And is he buried?
did he marry
No,
again?
is he buried here in Santa Barbara?
Papa?
Like the style that they.
Yes, he's buried out
I
at
can't remember now.
I think he's buried out at the in our plot.
Is he?
I was out there the other
That's
day.
what I heard, yeah.
And my father's the one that saw that we had the big. Have you seen our plot?
No, I might go out there.
We have a lovely big stone, beautiful big stone. The father's the one that had that made and put up. And he's buried there next to my mother. And his brother is buried there. And then my two uncles. But there's a lot of room for the whole family.
You said your dad and your mom were very happily married?
All very. He was a devoted father. And devoted, of course, when he died, when Mother died, we were younger because she was going to have a baby, you see, because I think she was in her 40s.
41 when she died. 41.
Was she? Well, I thought she was. I thought
Do you know how they met? Your mother and dad?
no. I was going to show you a picture, wasn't I?
Well, we'll get to that when we go back to your room.
Well, don't forget, because Mother was a very. Her father and mother were very. What will I say? Her father was very aristocratic and very. Eels, they owned the railroad in Ohio, and I guess they were from a very well-to-do family.
So what was your mother like?
Oh, she was a darling mother, just a lovely. Come over here, honey. Come on. She was a darling mother,
all over her.
lovely mother. Just. And she had the twins, we were twins.
Did she do a lot of things for you?
Well, she died when we were about 12, I think.
I think you told me that your grandmother made doll clothes.
Oh, her mother,
Yeah.
not my father's mother. My father's mother was
The aristocratic one.
very aristocratic. She, don't let me forget to show you that picture of her
Yes, I
in
will.
her train. But she always wore a train. And she had Jessie, who was a house. And Jessie had to do everything I can remember. I think that girl has a baby too, you can tell.
So your mom was real sweet.
Oh, she was a darling, and so was my father. He was a darling. After Mother died, he took over. He was the best father you ever